Um, the dominant, meaning the majority of members, are probably Hispanic gangs, Serreños, Norteños. We do have quite a few Bloods, a lot of Crips. But when I say that as a basic umbrella. So when I say Crip gang here in Utah, it would be like me telling you, or me asking you where you're from, and you said, you know, Utah. That would be the Crip. What city are you from? And underneath the Crip, you'd have another gang affiliated with. Does that make sense? Like Lalo Crip would be a Crip, but it'd be more of a city as opposed to a state. So I think females are a misconception. I think there are many females in gangs. They're not just the girlfriends. They're not just the associate members of the gang members. They're true gang members, and they're true to their sets, or they're true to their gangs. Well, I mean, you have your cyber banging, which is the traditional, the MySpace or the Flickr.com, and we're seeing a ton of MySpace. We're seeing a ton of cyber banging stuff. Like I said, I use this example in any presentation I do. You have your 14-year-old, 2-year initiated gang member talking to a male, same age or older in Germany, and they're communicating back and forth because the person in Germany is so obsessed with American gang culture that this 14-year-old Salt Lake City boy is now getting validated by others asking him questions all over the world. We see that every day, and any time I log on the computer, I can pull an example up. It's that much. Or for an example, a group of gang members locally will communicate. One kid could be grounded, the other kid could be unavailable, and they can communicate even being grounded. So they can communicate, a group of 15-year-old kids, about their gang or about what they're going to do when they get off grounding, and not actually go and associate with each other in person. Or they can say where we're going to meet up, or they can pretty much say whatever they want from their own home. Gang affiliations, their front page, when you log on and you go to any one of their pages, it's usually their gangs are represented all over that front page. You don't necessarily need to go into their friendships. I mean, as an investigative tool, it's a great idea to go into their friendships. And in fact, oftentimes when I go to the house of a known gang member, or ask, not necessarily confront, but ask the parent, say, "Does your child own a gun?" And the parents say, "Absolutely not." Well, I've printed out a few pictures here from their MySpace page with them holding a gun. Do you know anything about this? And that creates all kinds of issues, as you can imagine. I think, as you asked earlier, I think technology has gotten the gangs individually more savvy. Salt Lake County is unique. We have all kinds of backgrounds. What would predominantly be an African American gang is predominantly mixed in every race. I don't think there's one or two specific gangs that I can think of that are solely one ethnic group. I mean, not here anyway. We have a huge group of volunteers. We have kind of a yellow pages of what specifically they're asking for. We have a contact with Inked Out, or Inked Doubt, however you want to say it. They remove gang tattoos only for a very, very limited cost. I mean, it would be very cheap as opposed to going to get another tattoo to cover it, if not free.
Actually, it was just friends started hanging out with me, and then as I had been hanging out with them longer, they slowly started to let me know they were a part of Straight Edge, so I started learning about it, and they were trying to show me all the rumors, essentially, about it weren't true, that they were good guys, and so it just kind of led me into it that way. They don't do drugs, and that's pretty much the basics of it. Get in fights regularly. You, what they say, claim it. You just take the name on to yourself and live up to it pretty much. Like there's no blood in, blood out.
No initiation.
It's not the traditional gang where you have to get beat up to come in and get beat up or killed to get out. It's essentially when we'd just hang out or we'd go to concerts or shows, and if we were out in public places, those are usually where the fights would break out. Either it was someone was talking crap about us, or it's someone had a grudge against, and it's let's take care of them now. Actually, for places like concerts or get-togethers, it generally was a MySpace thing. You would text a lot. Generally wouldn't call each other. It was more just send a text out, and you were done. Concert venues were always changing. That's the main reason people were using MySpace to communicate it, because people had outlawed pretty much concerts from certain people or certain bands because they knew fights were going to break out and the cops would have to be called. So the X's are essentially your hardcore, and your hardcore of not using drugs. And so generally you will put X's on your hands, or you'll have X's on your shirts. That pretty much usually means that you're some way affiliated with straight edge. I was sick of the drama. I was sick of having to fight people whenever I'd hang out with certain individuals, and just the drama it caused. People always thought I was going to get in a fight, other people would get in fights, and so you felt obligated to help. Yeah, there's girls that will claim it and everybody will just kind of ignore it because what do you can say it and get them all pissed off, but it pretty much doesn't accomplish anything. Like they can claim they're straight edge or whatever, but essentially among everybody you look at it as these girls are alright, but it is a brotherhood. Yes, actually I know a lot of people that have gone from the drug-free, alcohol-free to the total extreme to where they're using all sorts of drugs, where they're actually selling drugs. It pretty much depends on the person. Most people that I know have switched to partying or drinking or doing drugs. Just get away from them completely. I mean, it sounds pretty crappy, but you're kind of have to change your lifestyle. You're going to be worried about places to go. That'll always happen, but thing is, once you're gone, it's just easier.
Because you want to think that you can save them. When you deal with gang violence, it's something that it just doesn't make sense at all.
If a kid really wants to and know that it's other options, they're willing to try to take those to make their lives better.
Getting out, it's much tougher getting out.
If you or someone you know is involved in a gang, there are ways to get help. You can contact the Metro Gang Unit, Colors of Success, local school districts, Salt Lake Peer Court, Salt Lake Community Action Program, Neighborhood Action Coalition, Allies for Youth and Families, local police departments, Boys and Girls Club, the Odyssey House, or residential treatment facilities.